Hi, thanks for joining me. My name's Lucy and I'm from A Good Chat Counselling. I'm a qualified counsellor and advocate for mental health. I also like a really good chat, which is why I named my company that. Today I'd like to chat to you about ways that you can improve your life for free. Now, I've been doing a whole series on this, so if you haven't watched the videos, there's links at the end of the videos to the past videos in this series, and I'll pop a link up here for the last video. I really strongly recommend that you watch all of these videos if you can, and if you want, like, subscribe, and comment down below. It really helps a small business get off the ground here. On that note, here's a word from our sponsor. Surprise! It's me. That's right. I'm the sponsor. If you've been watching the video, you know that I'm Lucy and that I'm a professional counsellor. A Good Chat's aim is to reach as many people as possible with affordable, professional, confidential services worldwide. My audience isn't just limited to Australia, so neither are my counselling services. We're not an app that hooks you up with a complete stranger. Chances are, if you contact our services, you're speaking either to me or one of my hand-selected counsellors. I pride myself on the service that I deliver being professional and confidential and what you're looking for. Now, if you're not happy with our service, then there's no need to commit. But if you think that we might be able to help you, I'd really like you to reach out today and arrange for your initial book. Now, we're going to provide a code down below in the description there that'll give you 50% off your first consultation with us to decide whether or not you actually want to commit to further sessions with a Good Chat counsellor. If your biggest barrier is financial, you might find that due to the dollar difference, our prices undercut your local services by a significant amount. You could make a significant saving by selecting this service. If you're comfortable speaking to somebody through text, through email, through phone calls, through videos, let us know. We're happy to accommodate those. So what have you got to lose? Start your mental health journey today with professional people that you know. Thank you, and back to the video. Okay, now that we're back again, let's get into the video. The first thing that I wanted to talk to you about this week is don't let your entire life hang on one element of your life. So many of us focus on one aspect of our life that we neglect the other elements that make up our life. Our life is a multifaceted, wonderful gem of a thing that has thousands of sides to it. And when we neglect everything for just one thing, and I'll give you a clue, it's usually one of two things that end up dominating it. Everything else falls out of whack and we start to lose the fact that we even have a life. It's what leads to midlife crisis. It's what leads to depression and anxiety and feelings of worthlessness and uselessness if that one thing falls out of balance. Often it's work and family, depending on your circumstances. We often and very easily get obsessed with our careers and our jobs. We bring them home, they just dominate our space. I'm totally guilty of it. I'm a total workaholic. But I have learned to have a balance with that. We need to learn to balance that one aspect of our life across a spectrum so that we can actually put it down and focus on the other parts that make up our lives. So if you're completely focused on your work, you need to learn to leave work at work and then allocate time for your hobbies and your interests and your family. You need to be able to spread yourself out over those things so that you actually have these multifaceted parts that make up a whole. Because without that, you're really boring. But not just that, you're really susceptible to that one thing going away. And then what do you have? We often hear tales about particularly men when they retire. They don't know what to do with themselves. They've focused on two things their entire life: working and their family. And by the time they retire, their family is off with a family of their own, or they're off doing their own thing. They really don't have time to spend all that time with them to make up for it. And their work has suddenly gone away. And you hear about, particularly, like I said, men, sometimes they die not long afterwards. And this is because they just fade away. They've got nothing left. They've exhausted their avenues because they only ever focused on one thing. And it's sad, and it's entirely preventable, which makes it even sadder. If in their life they had decided, okay, work is great and I've got this career, the fact is that careers end, so we need to actually plan for that for a start, but we need to make accommodations around it so that we actually have a life. If you're completely devoted to your family, what's going to happen when they grow up and they go off and have their own kids and their own lives? That's the whole point of having children. Some of the consequences of not expecting that and not allowing that is that we then become narcissistic or helicopter parents or really overly involved, and we lose the relationships with our kids because we're just middly old so-and-sos that they don't want anything to do with anymore. You can completely avoid that by just having a healthy life balance. Find other aspects of your life and put equal amounts of time into them, or allocate decent time into your hobbies, interests, and the things that make you you. Don't lose who you are to one aspect of your life. On that note, the next one is to share yourself. Don't be afraid to actually let other people into your life. Sometimes this is a really scary concept, particularly for people that have got anxiety, but it's actually really good for anxiety to move past it. Anxiety is a condition that we can move through. It's something that can take years to get over, but it's something that you should be actively working towards overcoming. Sharing ourselves with the people in our lives ensures that we have people in our lives. People that don't share anything about themselves, they'll very quickly become very isolated. Even their family will kind of withdraw. Nobody wants to spend time hugging a block of ice. That's a fact. It's uncomfortable, it's wet, and it's cold. Do you want to be uncomfortable, wet, and cold? No. No, you don't. Well, maybe you do, but you've probably got bigger issues then, and I'd click off the video and go and immediately look for help. Sharing ourselves allows other people to share with us and enriches our lives. It doesn't mean tell every stranger at the bus stop your life story. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is share yourself, share your time. Open up to people when you need to. Be available for them to open up to you. Share yourself. Let people know about your personality. It doesn't mean at work that you have to bring out all your hobbies and interests and get in there with Karen from accounting. It just means that you can be open to Karen from accounting maybe being a friend outside of work if she's the kind of person that you want to mix with. Sharing yourself, particularly with those that are already in our lives, ensures that they stay in our lives and that they want to stay in our lives. It's when people feel that we're not available to be shared or that they can't share with us that we'll lose those people. One of the other reasons to share with people is that if we don't, we feel isolated and like nobody understands us. Even if things don't go according to plan, or if people don't actually understand us that well, at least we've given them the actual opportunity to do so and the ongoing opportunity to understand us. Maybe they don't understand you, but maybe you haven't actually given them a chance to. So just remember to share yourself. Give people the opportunity to understand you before you lock yourself away. Being busy is so much better than being bored. Absolutely every time. Boredom is a symptom of a mind that has decided to stop. Boredom is just unacceptable. You have no reason to be bored. There is always something to do, even if you have to make that thing to do. When we're bored, we allow things like thought processes to change towards that boredom. It allows for accommodation of negative self-reflection. We feel idle and lazy and like, there's nothing to do, nobody wants to do things with me. When you're busy, you don't have this problem. You really don't. Boredom, it's such an alien concept to someone like myself. I've never been bored. I don't get bored. It's just not a thing. There's always something to do. I mean, I run a small business. I do YouTube videos. I paint. I do my gardening. 1,000,001 hobbies. And I'm not saying that you have to have 1,000,001 hobbies, but I'm saying if you're bored, you have no excuses to be so, and you're just allowing yourself to fall into anxious, depressive states. Don't do that. Find something to do. Take it as an opportunity to mean that you have a space in your schedule to be doing something productive, and find something productive to do. It'll just add to your life. Boredom, there's no excuse for it. Busy is better. Be a little bit too busy than to be even just slightly bored. Your satisfaction is relative. Nobody else is going to be the same level of satisfied on the same task. Two people are going to see the same thing very differently. Your subjective satisfaction in life is completely up to you. It's how you look at things and how you feel about things that lead to feelings of satisfaction. If you start comparing satisfaction to 2 or 3 other things in your life, you're going to really quickly feel out of depth and like things aren't stacking up. You're not going to feel satisfied because you're comparing satisfaction to other events where you did feel more satisfied. And if right now you don't feel that satisfied as you did back then, you're just setting yourself up for a cycle of failure, and there's no need to do that. Satisfaction is relative. Just remember that. Don't think about things that bother you. It doesn't matter if it's a person, if it's a thing, if it's a place, if it's a situation, if it's anything else that's going on. Don't think about it. Don't invest time into things you don't like. If it bugs you, if it bothers you, find something else to focus on, because I tell you, this is something that I had huge problems with. And in fact, it's a topic that bothers me. That's why I'm going to talk to you about it, because I need to get it out. When we focus on things that we don't like, we're allowing things that we don't like into our mind. We're putting energy into them. We're manifesting those things in our lives. So then we will notice other things that we don't like, and it'll set off a whole chain of I don't like it events. And then that bleeds off into the rest of our life, and we don't need that shit. Let's stop that one. If we don't like it, don't focus on it. Just turn the TV off, turn the radio off. Whatever it is, stop reading that newspaper article. Stop reading about certain political views that are annoying us, or things that are... Don't ignore the world that's going on around you, but don't invest time and energy following up on these things that bother you. It'll just lead to more negative behavior in our own lives that we just don't need. You need to put that energy into positive and good things that change your life. So just don't put energy into things that bother you. Here's the last one for today, till we get to the next video. Eat some fruit or vegetables today. Please, just... It doesn't matter which apparent diet that you're on. If you're keto, if you're paleo, if you're any of these things, eat fresh food today. Make one of your meals at least 70% fresh fruit and veg. The change in our diets, if we do this every day, is astounding. Even if we're on calorie restricted diet, we can be moving processed food off the plate and allowing room for fresh stuff, because the fact is it's always better for you than any processed meal. If you've got a choice between having a salad bowl and a salad sandwich, choose the salad bowl. And that doesn't mean go and fill it up with croutons and make up for the bread. It just means to take out the processed stuff. When given the opportunity, always go for the fresh fruit and veg, and try to have it as fresh as possible. Even if you just have an apple today, have some fresh fruit or veg. I can't stress the importance of that enough, and the difference that that will make in your life over an accumulated time period. Getting rid of the processed food and bringing in the fresh food. It leads to weight loss, it leads to better health, better skin, you'll just feel better, your digestion gets better. There are so many benefits for it. Just start doing it today. And on that note, I'm going to leave you until next week. So I hope you enjoyed the video today. If you really do, please help out by liking, subscribing, sharing, comment down below. Tell me your ways that you make yourself happier. I'd really love to hear it. And of course, the engagement lets the YouTube algorithm know that you like this video, and you'll get more of them. Now at the end of it, there will be that like and subscribe thing again. So wherever it is on there, go and watch another video if you like this one. Go and subscribe, tell your friends about it. And until next week, I'm Lucy from A Good Chat, and I hope this was a good chat. See you soon.